Alright guys, so a lot of people have been asking where's the YXZ? We don't see it anymore. I still have it and I drive it almost every day. Mostly around my property because that's where it's the most fun. You know, doing slides and little jumps and sharp turns, things like that. This is really not the hole-a-paw machine, especially if you want to go deep. And I got the new Rubicon, which is excellent for going deep, so this thing hasn't been used a ton. But this app, it's pretty cool. It's called Race Chrono. You can get it in the Google Play Store. I don't know if it's available for iPhone, but it's one word, Race Chrono. I think it was free. It might have been a few bucks. You go in here and you set up your track. So there's my property, and you can see there's a start and a finish line. I had to make them two separate lines because my track's a figure 8, as you'll see. So that gives me the ability to let the GPS on the phone discern start and finish. If I have them at the same place, it thinks I'm doing half laps. So got that figured out. And then once you get your track saved, you hit start, select your track. There's Sebring, Daytona, of course, we're on the Mud Puppy short course track. And now it's going to show me lap times, which is really convenient for getting faster. I've tried a few different ways to do this, and this is just the best to just run through laps. Also, I'm testing out this new camera. You can see right here. I've been playing with it. The last video was not shot on it for the most part. It was mostly my old DJI action. This thing's been a little finicky, so I'm playing with it. I'm shooting this one in standard field of view. The audio on it is pretty good compared to the old DJI action, so I like that. And I wish it had more battery life and storage though. So let's do a couple laps and warm her up. Alright, so there was 3 hot laps. So you can see on here my best time was 1 minute 20 seconds. That was my previous and my best. So then we can go to this. Oh, wait, what do I do? Do I want to stop recording? Yes. So now that I stopped the recording, I can go to sessions. And today, so we did 3 laps. The first lap was a minute 30, or second lap was a minute 23 and a half-ish. Then on to minute 20. Now this minute 20 lap, you may have noticed I almost flipped over twice. So it's pretty interesting that you can see the deltas and the splits and stuff here. But what's interesting is that almost killing yourself only gets you an extra 3 seconds off. So what does that tell you? Just relax and have fun. Make it smooth, a nice slide. It's not all about speed and power. But this will make you a better driver. You can pay attention to this. You can put it on splits. You can realize, man, if I hug that tree a little closer, it saves me a second. Stuff like that. All right, so for comparison's sake, we're gonna do another lap. This is gonna be in super wide. Show you the difference between super wide and standard. since you've already heard the audio, I'll talk you through this video. So this corner right here is a little scary. It's got an outward lean to it. It's also the fastest corner, so that's probably what's really going to flip me one day. This is a pretty smooth corner here, nice dirt, not too much grass. You can really slide through it in wide open second gear. You got to hit the brakes for this jump. The landing's kind of short, so you can only hit it between 25 and 30 without totally missing the landing. This corner I've been messing with second gear on. Before I really couldn't do it, with the heavy flywheel and the Alba racing upgrades, you can totally have the torque to hit that in second. Same with this one. This is behind the pond. There's a nice rut here you got to be careful with. I like to kind of fall into it at the end and zip around on it. A little tunnel action here through the trees, and there's one little bump here that gets the back end loose. So you got to wait till you hit that to go full throttle. You can get into fourth gear right here, hard on the brakes, cut to the side to make this corner. This is the second or third gear corner, depending on how dangerous you're feeling and how wet the yard is. If it's wet, you can just slide through it in third. Then you got to swing wide and shift into first right here for this really, really tight back-to-back hairpin around these trees. It's really bumpy here, a lot of clumps of grass. Very easy to get on two wheels there. This is a fairly quick corner, second gear. Get up to about 35 miles an hour-ish. Slam the brakes for the little hills so you don't go into the stratosphere. Coast over the big hill in second, then pop the clutch, slide through here. And then this palm tree right here on the left is the finish line. So yeah, that's the track. It's pretty sweet. I've added I used to have a loop around here to drift around this tree. It was a nice feature for the drone, but when you're running races around here, a whole loop drift, it just doesn't really add much. This is where I spin donuts typically. I'll stop talking so you can hear the motor. Another reason I'm not getting quite such good times is I have raised the suspension up an inch, and it makes a huge difference in center of gravity. So that was a minute 20.6.